Roy, let's talk about how, and this is, again, I've never, before I spoke to you, I didn't even know that this could be an issue. I don't think a lot of people, first-time home buyers especially, I don't think they know this can be an issue. How can an appraisal affect your purchase of a home? How does that screw things up sometimes, especially in this market?
Well, the appraisal basically is an evaluation of the property that the bank is going to ask for when you purchase a home or even refinance it. So a lot of times, in the past, I'm going to say that about 95% of purchases appraise at value, and we don't know if it appraises over value because either appraise at value or less, never more. Obviously, it's the way that system works. But so what's happening nowadays is because the market has taken off so quickly from the month of January, or say from December last year to today. I mean, January alone, property prices increased on the average of 5% in 1 month, which is ridiculous. So what's happening is, and I'll just give you an example. This month alone, I've had 6 clients call me regarding that their appraisal came in light. They're not sure what they're going to do.
Really?
And it was as little as $10,000 and as much as $171,000 difference from the purchase price to the appraisal.
That's a bit of a difference, yeah.
It's a little bit of a difference. So what do? Okay, because nowadays, 99% of the contracts going out there are going to be unconditional. No inspection, no appraisal, no financing clause, and all of a sudden you buy this place that you think is the best thing since sliced bread. You're willing to pay a little bit more for it, you understand. Mm-hmm. So let's just give you an example of what happened to me this week. So I had a client of mine who bought a property, it's a townhouse in Toronto, and there was 20 offers on it, and he wasn't even the highest offer.
Just really?
To let you know, yeah.
Okay.
So he bought it for $776,000, which for 1,400 square foot townhouse is probably reasonable if you really think about it. Price per square foot is reasonable for the city, and you think, okay, I'm willing to pay almost $600 a square foot for this place, no problem. The problem you run into is the last sale in the area was only $580,000.
A heck of a lot less,
and that happened in December, and now it's February. It's not really a big time difference, and they can use up to 6 months back. And if you look at anything that's sold in the area, that type of property, nothing sold more than about $650,000.
So we have a huge leap from,
There's a huge leap. So what happens is the appraiser might tell you, hey, listen, you know what? It's not that it's not worth it. I just can't prove that anything is sold for that price range. So I have to use the data that's available to me from the past. Nobody lends on the future. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's really buying at high prices today, the new prices, are setting the precedent for people over the next 6 months. So most of those probably will not appraise. So now you're saying, well, I bought this place for $776. It came in at, say, $620,000 appraisal. I am short. What do I do? Well, the bank will still lend you money. It's just going to lend you 80% loan to value of the lower of the appraisal value. So let's say this one here is $620,000, but now you have $150,000 shortfall.
They're not going to cover that.
No, they're not going to cover
help
that.
you out with that.
So what do you have? You have a couple of choices. Number one, if you don't have the money, you're going to have to walk away from the deal. You can lose your deposit. Chances of you getting sued probably very small because they'll be able to sell that property for that price or probably more. So it's important that if you're going to go into this crazy market, you can't go in there with all your money you have to buy this property.
Just throwing it up front right there. Yeah,
you're going to need some backup money because chances are, especially the next few months, until the precedent gets set and the market catches up with the prices, then you're going to have a lot of these appraisals coming in saying, hey, listen, you know what? You're $100,000 short or you're $75,000 short. So it's going to be one of those games and take a little while to catch up. So until then, I just say make sure you do have money or a backup plan, whether it's your parents that can help you out. And my client also asked me, what's my choices? I said, well, you can borrow it from a family friend or thing and then wait 6 months. And then when something else sells in that area, just get a reappraise and then refinance.
And then it'll be the appraisal will be higher based on what's happened there. Okay.
Exactly. So these are things that you have to, you're going to have choices, but you got to be careful right now because if you do not have the funds to fund that gap, you're going to have issues.
So this is why it is a good thing to get a mortgage broker involved in the purchasing process because this isn't necessarily, I'm not trying to, flame through all the realtors, real estate agents out there, but this is not necessarily something that they're going to discuss at length with the client, right?
Well, the listing agent wants top dollar.
Yeah, of course.
And then the real estate agent will tell you, listen, you know what, you're getting this dangerous territory. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, well, if you look at it, I mean, if you look price per square foot and you look at everything that's sold in the city, paying $600 a square foot for a property in Toronto is not. I don't think it's over. I mean, that's probably the average price per square foot for a condo. For a townhouse, it might be probably a little bit more. But because that type of property hasn't sold before, because a lot of these properties are in areas that nobody wanted to touch 10 years ago.
But now they're hot.
Right?
Yeah, everybody's
so now you get this place that nobody wanted to touch 10 years ago, and all of a sudden it becomes a high demand property because it is in Toronto. All these areas are changing. There's nothing there to support the new value. But it's a new market. And people don't realize that when you start a new market, a new trend, it takes a while for the history to catch up with it. And appraisals are based on history, not future. So the guy's like, well, can he realize there's been an increase? Yeah, they do realize it, but they can't really
just not
add
right
that in.
now. Yeah,
they can't add that in because they need data to support it. The banks are going to look at it. They have people that actually are experts at it and say, hey, why did you use this as a comparable when it's not even close to the area or not even the type of property we're looking at?
Man, there's so many things to consider when you're picking up a house. It can be a convoluted thing to get involved in, but it doesn't have to be that difficult.
It doesn't have to be that difficult. I'm just saying this is the extreme, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that if you're looking to buy right now, you just got to be prepared for these things. It may or may not happen to you, but if you're prepared for them, at least if something happens, it's not a big deal. You're prepared. You're ready to put the plan into action. But if you're not prepared, it can cause a lot of stress, a lot of havoc, and then you're running around trying to figure things out, and it's not fun that way. So if you're well prepared in it, you always have to make sure that you have to understand all the pros and the cons when you go into a deal and understand all the risks involved. And now there's more and more risks than there was before.
That's not a bad idea to prepare yourself. If you have any questions, you want some assistance in that preparation, give us a call here. You can ask Roy Cocciolo any questions you have. It's 416-870-6400. Online, YourMortgageYourWay.ca. You can also, if you're a little shy and you don't want to talk on air here, you can also send Roy an email. Go to YourMortgageYourWay.ca. Right there on the main page. Get answers to your questions. You throw in your first name, email address, then you can ask him a question that way.